Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. Y'all know last night we had NXT, and I think it's safe to say it was a very good show. There are some things that are announced for Halloween Havoc. There is some surprises and announcements that need to be talked about on this channel. I know I have not done a review since Friday Night SmackDown, I believe, or even later than that. So my apologies for sure. I've been trying to focus a little bit on Instagram as well. I know that I've kind of been slacking on there as well. I'm trying to get some memes out, some edits out, trying to find what audience I'm looking for over there. And here I'm excited because obviously we had NXT and an awesome show. So let's jump right into it. We saw the NXT logo be shown in the middle of the ring this week. We know last week we saw Josh Brooks versus Matt Cardona. We saw all these cool matches last week, and I went back and saw, and there was no NXT logo in the middle of that ring. So that tells me that this week they definitely changed it, and now we have the NXT logo in the middle of the ring. So that's a very, very, very good touch. Normally, I will say I don't like anything in the ring. I do have a little bit of a pet peeve with that on the main roster and on pay-per-view or on PLEs. We know WWE, they have all these sponsors on the ring and everything like that. That does get on my nerves just a little bit. I don't think that's a very good thing. I don't like the look of it. But I've always liked the look of NXT's plain mat because the apron's really cool. I like their style. And then they're putting the NXT logo right in the middle of the ring. Don't know how I feel about it. I think it'll definitely grow on me. But for now, I'm okay with it. I mean, it didn't look too horrible tonight. Definitely showed for some good photos, and you can understand why they're doing it. Because people like me, people like everybody else doing these NXT reviews, you have to show photos and videos of NXT and what happened and explain it. And you're showing the brand right in the middle of the ring, and that's what they want. So that's very good. Obviously, in the thumbnail of this video, you're pretty much going to see that NXT logo. So their branding is great. So something to just touch on. I thought I'd mention it because it's a big touch. We're having the NXT logo now in the middle of the ring. So obviously, definitely something to pay attention to. We saw Tatum Paxley open the show. We know that we got announced during Tatum's and Izzy's video walking into the arena that they're going to open. We know Tatum last week eliminated Izzy Dame and Jordan Grace to win the number one contenders battle royal to face JC Jane at Halloween Havoc. This promo was really, really good. She says that the only friendship that has been consistent is the fans supporting her. So not Izzy Dame, but she did mention how Izzy Dame's been such a good friend for taking her in the calling whenever all her friends left her. So now she's giving credit to Izzy Dame as well. One thing I will say about that, I don't like how they were playing into that during this part of the promo because the end goal was breaking up Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley. Yes, they're great in the ring, but it's going to cost for a very good storyline. And I just think that right now is not the time to break them up, but we're pushing it. So I'm going to say go ahead and act like you're going to break them up because now we're kind of getting to the spot with Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame, just like Zarya's in the spot, just like how RUCA and Zarya's in the spot. They're about to break up. That's been the main topic over NXT for a long time is RUCA and Zarya breaking up. So right here, I think we need to push Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame's breakup because Lyra Valkyria is taking in for Izzy's spot. That's clearly what's going on. That's clearly what we've been teasing. So we need to go ahead and pull the trigger. Lyra Valkyria, yes, she's doing great things on the main roster. She's picking up some wins against Roxanne Perez and being in this role with Bayley. But she's playing a huge role down on NXT, and I think that's where she needs to be for the next month to get Tatum Paxley on her feet so that whenever Lyra leaves, Tatum can be very sturdy by herself on NXT and eventually go to the main roster and be a great superstar overall. But eventually, after all of this talking from Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame, we see JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lainey Reed interrupt. Lainey obviously coming out in replace of Jasmine Nix. We know that Lainey confessed to it to Jasmine to JC and Fallon at Showdown that she's the one who attacked Jasmine. So now Lainey's filling in for Jasmine pretty much, and it's interesting for sure. During this segment right here, it did not look like she fit in. Lainey got no time on the mic at all. It was Lainey it was Fallon and JC on the mic. So all right. Obviously, I would not put her on the mic first week with the Fatal Influence. She's definitely got to work into that character. And Tatum Paxley pointed it out very clear in this segment. She said that she asked JC, she said, you know how long it took you to get here. You know how long it took you to be NXT champ. And from all the trials that JC's been through, literally going through injuries, and now Fallon being through an injury, which I thought was really interesting to see and pretty cool to see how they played this one out. I will go through it. We see JC tell Tatum that she doesn't stand a chance. That champ talk. JC would say that Tatum isn't average. She said that she's not even average. So that's big talk going into Saturday. And we would also see Tatum say that it will be her time on Saturday. So that also got me in a spot of, well, now Tatum's calling her shot, so she might have to lose. That's always something that I always look at whenever you're seeing somebody go up for the title, especially a small name like Tatum Paxley that not a lot of people think would win the title, like Tatum pointed out in this promo right here. It was interesting to see her call her shot like this because, I'm expecting her to win. Do I want her to win? No, she's not ready, in my opinion. I think that Jacy Jayne is so much better than Tatum Paxley. I think that the only people not agreeing with me and the only people that are actually saying that Tatum Paxley is better than Jacy Jayne is just wrong. If you're watching this video and you think Tatum Paxley is an overall better professional wrestler than Jacy Jayne, you need help. You need serious help. Jacy Jayne's better on the mic. I mean, 100%. Tatum did impress me with this promo, but this was the best promo she's ever had in her life, where she was going against Jacy Jayne in like a promo battle type style. So can't really give her too much credit. But this segment ends by JC, or pretty much Fallon, Laney, Izzy, and Tatum all brawling out, and the champion Jacy Jayne staying out of it. It gets announced that there will be a tag match later in the show where Fallon Henley was out of the match. Now, if you remember, probably like a week ago, I would say, a video came out of Zarya holding Fallon Henley on her shoulders and throwing her into the Soul Snatcher. The caption said of that video that Fallon Henley is now injured, in which I reported on the Instagram page, CZV_wrestling, if you don't know. So, I reported that Fallon Henley is injured. And get here, it's completely pretty much reportedly announced, 100% true, because Fallon Henley is left out of this match, and now we're seeing Jacy Jayne and Tatum Paxley get hits on each other before Saturday. So, either this could have been intentional. We saw Fallon brawl earlier in the show, obviously after this promo right here, but it's interesting for sure. I think that it definitely sucks if Fallon is injured. I think she's going to play a huge part in this storyline for sure, because I think it's up to her if Laney Reed fits into the group. I think that'll become a hot topic in the Fatal Influence after JC loses. The only reason I'm saying she's going to lose is because I think it's no doubt she's going to lose. I would love to see her win because I just don't think it's Tatum's time. But if you're being realistic, what other time this year, next year, years after that, is Tatum Paxley going to have the chance against Jacy Jayne to win? I think that if Jacy retains here, she's only going to get better, and the matches are only going to keep getting better. But we did see Jacy try to lay out Tatum at the end of this segment, but it's just super cool to see how WWE is working this storyline, because overall, I mean, man, it's so cool. I love how they're doing Jacy Jayne. They're doing her like a real champ on the main roster, doing great things, and that's how she needs to be treated. She is such a good star, and if they fumble her, what's next? I would be very disappointed if they do fumble Jacy Jayne. I don't think they will. I think they got Jacy Jayne in good hands. At least I hope. But yeah, very good, very, very good opening segment. Yes, I did expect RUCA to be the opener with her announcement, but I think this was good for sure. Filled some time as the final match of the night, besides the Ricky and Trick contract signing. So very good. I did like this opener. I thought it was very, very good. We then get on to backstage. Javon Evans and Leon are laughing it up, and they're making jokes with each other. They're looking for opponents for Halloween Havoc as a tag team, and that was really exciting for me. Y'all know, one of my dream matches was Leon Slater versus Javon Evans, two of my favorites right now, two of the best in the ring in the whole world, honestly. So I was excited to see them go one-on-one, and now they're going 2-on-2 against other people, which we know that turned out to be Mr. Iguana and La Parka from AAA. But it's really, really fun. man, I love it. And I'm not going to skip over Leon Slater retaining against Stacks. This match, we saw Javon hop on commentary, which was hilarious. We saw them do dances over Stack's body out on the outside. They are just such a good team together. Whether Javon's helping Leon on the outside or Leon's helping Javon on the outside, or in a tag team match like we've been talking about. Obviously, they do have a match at Halloween Havoc. It's going to be a banger. I mean, come on. If y'all think that this match right here is not going to be absolutely insanely good, I don't know, man. Y'all need to get something checked out because it is insane. 2025. We are gracing the end of 2025, and we are getting what we've all been wanting for months, and Leon Slater and Javon Evans teaming up. If I would have thought about that earlier this year, I probably would have told you you're lying. It is insane to think that we literally have Javon Evans and Leon Slater on the same team in 2025. Makes no sense, but super cool to see Leon have a great match with Stacks. Stacks didn't so much impress me. I think Stacks was mostly on defense in this match. He did have a couple of offensive moves, but Leon was mostly on the offense. But now, yes, Leon picked up the victory. Yes, this match was pretty much all to set up La Parka and the Mr. Iguana versus Leon and Javon. But you got to look at the other side of this match, and where does Stacks and Ariana Grace go? Ariana and Stacks obviously playing in that more of love story type role. With Stacks, obviously, him and Ariana being together in real life outside of WWE. So I would like to play into that more. They are very good together, which, I mean, the connection's going to be there because of who they are outside of WWE. But I want to play more into that because they looked really cool tonight. I loved last night, and how they were playing it off was super cool. I like how Javon put his arm around Ariana. That was a really cool touch. I was super excited to see how they were playing into that role with Ariana and involving her in everything that they're doing in the match. I think that was really cool. So, yeah, very good match between Leon and Stacks here. I am looking forward to more Stacks matches against someone like a Leon or a Javon. He needs the bouncy people. We know what matches he can put on with a stocky guy like Tony D'Angelo, but it's what he can do with a bouncy guy like this and Leon Slater. I know I'm using those terms very loosely, but it's what he can do with both types of wrestlers that makes him great. So I think that before long enough, we'll be seeing him on a higher stage besides NXT. I think it would be very cool to see him on a TNA. I think he would fit in right there, and I think that's where he's going to be being featured. I would hope so, at least in these next couple of weeks, with him being together with Ariana. That was obviously in the build for a couple of months, but I don't want to spend too much on this topic, so let's get on to what happened next. We got on to the Speed Men's semifinals, and Jasper Troy defeating Zachary Wentz, as well as we saw Axiom defeat Sean Legacy. Now, what I think about this, definitely interesting. We were representing TNA and Evolve in those two matches, and yet both of the WWE superstars, obviously we know Sean Legacy is a WWE superstar, a part of the ID program, being on Evolve, but, you know, I wasn't expecting just SmackDown and NXT superstars to prevail here. I was definitely expecting Zachary Wentz to win, but you know, we've saw Jasper Troy in the shadows of NXT for a good hot minute now. So it was cool to see him rise again and have a nice moment here, beating Zachary Wentz in this speed tournament with 3 minutes on the clock. Not after, but y'all know the speed tournaments last 3 minutes. Very cool there. And then we get to the saddest part of the night, which I thought was super sad, and I have a lot of thoughts on, is the Soul RUCA announcement. And it pretty much got spoiled for us before we could even think about it, because Soul and Zarya would be backstage. Zarya would question Soul on if she really wants to announce this, and Soul is shown with a knee brace on and walking around with sort of crutches. So that obviously tells us either she's relinquishing, which would be very devastating, or she won't be able to do the match. She goes out. She says she will not be able to compete on Saturday against Blake Monroe for that Women's North American Championship. That was devastating. I cannot lie. Blake and Soul would have burnt the house down, and now I think that the match will not be able to happen for a very good long time, because honestly, I think that we all know Soul's ready for the main roster. Give Blake Monroe about 2 months, she'll be ready for the main roster. So I think it's super sad to see. I think we will not be seeing Soul and Blake Monroe face off on NXT again. I think that we will be seeing them face off on the main roster. I think we will revisit that rivalry at some point on the main roster. It's just super sad that we didn't get to see it on Saturday. I was so excited for that match. It was obviously going to be a banger. We all know that. But we would see Blake Monroe come out and say that she should be champ because she's number one contender. Soul can't compete. And that's whenever Zarya steps up and asks Soul if she can take her place on Saturday against Blake Monroe to defend that North American Championship. This is where it got interesting. Zarya would stand over Blake, and she would hold up that North American title almost as if it's hers. She would hold it up like she won it. And Soul had a weird look on her face. Facial expressions has always been something that Soul is great at. So you pay attention to those because she is very good at them. And not just because I'm a Soul RUCA Glazer. Don't worry. It's true. But if you look at her facial expressions whenever Zarya is holding up that title over Blake Monroe, it's like not wanting to let Zarya go face Blake Monroe and defend her title because she mentions while she's accepting that she is going to allow Zarya to fight for the title, she says that if there's one person she trusts, it's Zarya, but at the same time, Zarya, you know how hard I've worked for this title. You know how many defenses I've put in. You know how much work I've put into defending this title. So make it a good match and defend my title. So that was something that I paid a lot of attention to and something that everybody needs to. But very cool to see here. I hate that Soul's going out. We obviously don't know how long she's going to be out, whether that's months, weeks, years. Nobody knows. I would expect it to be about 2 months. Doesn't look like any bad injury, but definitely sad. We also mentioned during this how it did happen on Friday Night SmackDown, which was a given, but it's something that I need to mention because it could be an outside of wrestling injury like we were seeing with Jacob Fatu. So, yes, it was a injury that happened on SmackDown against that match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Could that have been the reason that Zarya and Soul RUCA lost? I don't think so. I think that Charlotte and Alexa was always meant to win, but I think that it's definitely sad to see. Now, who hurt her? I don't know. I will go back and check because I'm interested. I'm about to do some deep digging, and whoever hurt Soul RUCA, man, you fully done lost a fan, to be honest with you. I can't lie, but it's all right. I got to calm down because she'll be back and better than ever. I hope so. But it's very concerning. I don't know if it's the same knee or not, but we know that Soul's been out with a knee injury before. So whether this is the same knee, I'm not sure. I will do some research to figure that out. But it is very concerning because if that left leg has already been, or that left knee has already been messed up before and she just injured it again, it could be way more serious than the last time, and it could have completely tore, if anything. So I really hope that it's not. But either way, lose. If it's not, then she's done messed up both of her knees. But if it's just one, that's damage to one of them. So yeah, I hate that because she's so good, but it feels like her knees has always been the thing that she's been getting injured with and always been messed up with. So I think that that'll definitely mess with her on the main roster and her career. But I hope not because she's so good. But we would see OTM in their returning match take on Hank and Tank, where they would win in some great fashion. Hank and Tank would barely get any offense, and that was surprising. Hank and Tank obviously being an energetic team, being somebody that's always pretty much got the offense, and if they don't, the fans are always behind them. But the fans were equal during this match, but to be honest, this is not going to be a storyline nobody's going to be interested in. One thing that I was thinking about, which I wasn't going to mention, but it's something to talk about, is how Dark State should go after OTM. OTM is rising on the charts of the tag team division. They're about to start going after the titles. So after Dark, I think that WWE is going to wait till Dark State's done with the Hardy Boys until they put OTM to the titles. Obviously, we know that, yes, Hardy Boys are the NXT champions, but Dark State's going to win them back eventually. So I think that that's something we need to pay attention to. OTM's going to be going after those titles sooner than later, so going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We would see JC Jane pick up the win for her team, which was her and Lainey Reed. Lainey looked very solid during this match, but we saw JC pin Tatum Paxley. So that was cool. Lainey obviously holding back Izzy from going to break it up. But one thing that I saw here, which I think that Fallon was always supposed to pick up the pin. I think that now that I'm saying it out loud, I changed my mind for sure. If Fallon would have pinned Tatum, that would have made her completely go from this to this, But confusing. And this is another reason why I think that Tatum Paxley is going to win. That's not saying that I want her to win. I don't want her to win, but she's going to. She just got pinned on SmackDown on NXT, and this is going to be the reason, because this was the go home show for Halloween Havoc. So it's pretty much spoiled now. Tatum Paxley is winning against JC Jane. Not the right decision at all, but I think this is going to make a path for Izzy Dame to go after that title as well. So it's all right. It's all right. I can deal with it. It's not something I'm mad at. So yes, Tatum Paxley's good, but I don't know if she can handle the main spotlight. She's never been somebody to have that main spotlight. So what she can do with it, I'm not sure. Am I excited to see what she can do with it? For sure. But we also said the same thing about Kalani Jordan, and what has she done with that TNA title? Great things so far, being very confident on the mic. So I hope that it's the same result with Tatum Paxley and not a complete screw up. But we'll see. As the time goes, we'll definitely figure out if Tatum Paxley is going to be a good champion, bad champion. It's something that'll come with time, and that's what's happening a lot in pro wrestling right now. In the main event, Ricky Saints and Trick Williams would have their contract signing for Halloween Havoc, and Trick would start off by saying that Ricky belongs on the Indies and he belongs in Hollywood. So playing into that role, I love Trick Williams. That character of Trick is so good. Ricky would say that on Saturday, Trick is going to be locked out and Ricky's going to be locked in. That was a bar. I can't lie. That was a good bar. Loved that by Ricky, but kind of was spoiled again. Ricky probably is going to win. Not because of the ending, but what he said on the mic. Trick looked so confident again, which, by the way, what is a rivalry that you have not saw Trick locked in? And Trick be funny on the mic and be all this and confident? Never. Trick's always confident on the mic, so I think that Trick needs to figure that out. Not that it's a bad thing at all. Trick is so good, but him being confident in every match and then him losing brings that momentum down a lot. Down more than if he would have just stayed quiet. So it's interesting. It's interesting for sure, but hey, it's okay. And it ends out with Ricky ended up putting Trick through the contract signing table. Trick went for it first, but now this is double momentum lost if Trick loses, right? If Trick loses on Saturday, this is bad. It's not going to be good, because that would mean Trick not only lost to Ricky Saints, but he got bullied the week before by Ricky Saints. So that just puts Ricky over Trick by a good amount. But it's how Trick bounces back, whether that's going back for the TNA title or that's going for the NXT title. But I really want to see Trick as champ, but I think right here in this match, it's a lose-lose. If Ricky loses, he just won it, so he just can't lose. He cannot afford to lose the title. But if Trick loses, that's not good. He just lost the TNA title to Mike Santana at Bound for Glory. Now he's trying to go after another title, which it was crazy how quick he got a match for the NXT title. But now he's got it, which is something that I don't think should have happened. I think Ricky should have faced Javon Evans. That rivalry right there has been a brewing for a while. We know Ricky went face-to-face with Javon before his match with Obafemi at Stand and Deliver. So I think that now is the time we just do something, man. Come on. Let's do something with Ricky and Trick. And right here, like I said, it's a lose-lose either way, and I hate that for them because these are two great superstars that cannot afford to lose, but they're going to. So, very interesting in NXT. I am 100% planning to either post a Dynamite review tonight or tomorrow. I'm mostly planning on now doing them the next day because I can generate my thoughts. And besides, there's other people y'all can watch that do reviews same night. Y'all know I used to do them very consistently every night after the shows, but now there's so many sports going around, and I just like to spend time just hanging out in there, hanging out everywhere with friends and family. So I'm going to be doing all of that, and then the next day, like today, I'm going to be doing this review. So very cool. I loved NXT this week. I'm super excited to see what Halloween Havoc has in store, and this was the second to last review of WWE before. Or actually, we might do an Evolve review. I'm not planning on watching Evolve tonight. I'm planning on watching Dynamite tonight, but I will watch it tomorrow as well as Impact. So, very cool. I love the NXT tonight. Hope y'all did as well. Let me know what y'all rated it down below. Honestly, I would rate it a solid 8 out of 10. This was a very good show, but make sure to like and subscribe because because we do these reviews every single day. And I will see y'all boys in the next one. Deuces, deuces.